So what's up, good people? How you doing? Welcome to Stock Up with Larry Jones. This is going to be a great one. We're going to get right into it. Y'all know how I do with the timer. We're going to try to end this, all right, in a in a timely fashion. For those of you that don't know me, this is Stock Up with Larry Jones, where we just help to make you money, money, money. I'm a little emotional, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. I'm a little emotional. Now, I'm a little emotional because I looked at my portfolio before I even came here and I was up 94K in the last week. And that's not why I'm emotional. I got a little emotional because I know y'all making money. And it's like I kind of know, I'm not comparing myself to Moses, but I'm just kind of know when he kept telling people it's going to rain, it's going to rain, it's going to rain. Y'all seen the movie Evan Almighty. And then it don't quite go the way you think it's going to go. And you just like, oh, I'm felling the people. And then it happens. And I was like, yes. So let's get some coffee cups going in the chat. Coffee cups and fire emojis in the chat. Okay. So what we're going to do today is I have a friend in the back room, but I got to tell you about this first. Stock Up You is where you will learn and earn. And I'm going to tell you why you're going to want Stock Up You right now. And you're going to want to take the crypto chapter. We're adding to it. I just got off the phone and we're going to add a whole chapter in swing trading, which will be fully up by Black Friday. And the Black Friday code, which is the biggest sale that I've ever had on this page, is LEARN. LEARN. Take that gift. This is a Black Friday gift. I'm starting Black Friday right now. There we go with the fire emojis. I got a guest for y'all, good people. This is going to be a great show. And it's not just a great show because it's a great show. It's going to be a great show because I'm going to further help you guys make money. I got a guest here and his name is Tyler. Tyler, how you doing?
I'm doing amazing, man. How's it going, Uncle Larry?
It's going well, nephew. It's going well. So listen, the reason I don't have a fancy background right now is I literally contacted him through someone else and said, let's get on a live now so we could feed the people. So forgive the background. The screen is I see it's kind of kooky now, but that's all right. We don't care. We making money. So while everybody else is watching football, while everybody else is watching cat videos, we making money. Now, Tyler, this is the way we get down here. I was going to run up and change, but listen, we going to cover Shib. We going to cover Doge. We going to cover Sui. We going to cover Bitcoin. All right. We going to cover it all. Right. So what I want to do is, hey, what's going on, people? All right. Somebody said Tyler for taxes. Let's go. What's that about? I thought I was going to say Tyler for president. Okay, there we go. Krista says, I need to rebalance things. Now, I want you guys to fully listen to this episode, okay? So, Tyler, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell them about your background really briefly, and we're going to get right into it.
Sure. Yeah. So just, super long story short, I started kind of just investing into the stock world. That's kind of where I first got my go back in 2018, 2019 while I was in college. It was a good time, but obviously I wasn't doing a ton while I was in college. And the pandemic came around a little bit later, recognized that there were a ton more opportunities out there, especially when I was just stuck in the house as we all were. From there, I kind of fell into the world of crypto. I was bored and I was like, you know what? I want to make a YouTube channel and just talk about the journey, talk about the things that happened. And over the last 3 or 4 years, it's been a journey of, learning lessons, implementing those lessons that I learned and starting to track that progress through the channel. We're almost at 100,000 subscribers over on the channel now. I will actually say I went screenshot it and I need to send it to you. You were actually one of the first 10 people that I subscribed to on YouTube. So,
wow.
Everything's kind of coming around full circle here. And I'm happy to be here, to say the least.
Man, that's cool, man. That's cool. So I'm on for real, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
All right. So good people. We gonna chat a little bit at the end, but we're gonna get right into it. Let's get you guys fed. We see what's going on with crypto, right? Let me pull this up. We see what's going on with Bitcoin. Let me get rid of some of these windows. I didn't want to get rid of that. But Tyler, tell them what you think about Bitcoin first, right? Number one, we're going to cover Bitcoin and we're going to cover altcoins, which everyone should have, and then we're going to cover some meme coins. Everyone should have Bitcoin in their portfolio. Everyone should have an altcoin, and everyone shouldn't have meme coins. But if you know what you're doing, you can have meme coins. I just want to keep that straight. All right. Tell them what you think about Bitcoin, and if we need to go to the charts, let me know, and we'll switch right to it.
Totally. Yeah, and yeah, it would be great if you could show the charts because I'll kind
Yes,
of
sir.
mix it in there as well.
All right.
So
Sorry I don't have your face on it, but that don't care. Let's just talk about it. Go ahead.
oh yeah, it is all good. So yeah, looking at Bitcoin right now, I mean, it's been nothing short of phenomenal. Obviously, the last couple of days, everyone's been starting to talk about Bitcoin again. We're starting to see the Google trends picking up. People are starting to recognize that Bitcoin's back in action, and it's crazy that it took us getting all the way back up towards this all-time high for people to start to realize that Bitcoin is in a great spot. But the crazy thing is that whenever you zoom out a little bit, you can really start to recognize how big what's happening actually is. Because Bitcoin, of course, had a bit of a weird year. You know, we started off the year very good. Things were looking great. We started to notice that momentum picking back up, but then realistically, things started getting a bit boring. They started going sideways. No one knew what was going on. And I think that was mostly due to, of course, the events we were seeing in the world and people anticipating what's happening now, what's happening with interest rates, what's happening with the presidential election, and much more. And when you have a moment like this, a consolidationary moment is what it's called. It's when you're just kind of going sideways and you're in a bit of a boring moment. Oftentimes, these intra bull market channels turn into some of the biggest, I call them, trampolines or launch pads or whatever you'd like to call it, that can spring us into absolutely strong growth. And what's amazing about it is that we did get that confirmation just over the last few days because Bitcoin's price not only broke out of that channel, it came back down and retested that channel and then used that back test to flip that resistance into some support, using that support to now continue upwards. And so because of that, where we are is in an absolutely fantastic spot. And I think realistically, Bitcoin's just getting started. And so my general thesis for Bitcoin right now is that it's in an amazing area. And I think it could only get better from here in the long term, really.
I love that. All right. I'm glad you kept it right there, man. Listen, I want to show the people this, okay? I want to go here and I want to show you something that I love to look at. Tyler, look at this, man. For the week, everybody gets stuck on the hour in the day. Let's go for the week. For the week, Bitcoin is up a whopping 16%. Ethereum is up 29%, right? That is insane. Doge, as you can see, look at that, 81%, Tyler. That's absolutely insane. All right. So I want you to tell people about moves between Bitcoin and altcoins. So as you can see, Bitcoin dominance is 59%, which tells me that the altcoin season has not really started yet. You want to chime in on that, Tyler?
Yeah, absolutely. And if you want to show them this chart, I can kind of reflect that a little bit more as well.
Okay,
So
let's go.
So this is the Bitcoin dominance chart. And what you're going to notice when you look at this is that realistically, since the middle of 2023, Bitcoin dominance has only gone upwards. And put simply, Bitcoin dominance is just the amount of the market cap that is controlled by Bitcoin. So say hypothetically, if the total market cap of crypto is 100 million, if Bitcoin has 50 million, that means Bitcoin dominance is 50%. So as Bitcoin dominance goes upwards, means Bitcoin's more in control. Let's just say that. And so what's crazy about it is that Bitcoin has only gained more and more and more control over this market. And sure, we have over the last few days gotten this little pullback, right? We have gotten this moment where altcoins have started to kind of take back control. But when you look at this in comparison to what's been happening, that's just a drop in the bucket. And what's really exciting to think about is that this is what a real altcoin season looks like, not
Yes.
this. So this could only be the beginning of what could be a lot more crazy. And so it's hard to think about, but it is exciting to think about.
That is absolutely insane. Now, so we, Tyler, you and I both agree everyone should have Bitcoin in their portfolio, right?
Absolutely.
All right, so everyone should have Bitcoin in the portfolio. As a matter of fact, my thing was to get enough Bitcoin for myself, my kids, my wife. All of us have our own Bitcoin, right? And we're never going to sell it. We may borrow against it, but we're never going to sell it. And you save money by borrowing against it and beating out the capital gains tax of selling it. That's a whole nother video. All right. Now let's move to altcoins. We're going to get right into this, right? Let's look at Solana versus Sui. Okay. Let's look at Solana versus Sui. Now, he's going to show you what the charts say. And understand this, that sometimes, and he and I was just talking about that, the news cycle will change things. So you may watch this today and tomorrow we may say this looks bullish for right now, but tomorrow it may be the other coin. So I want you to take it from here, Tyler.
Sure. Yeah. So and I'll let you know when we can look at that chart because there is something interesting to see. But when I think about Solana versus Sui, I kind of start to recognize a lot of similarities more than anything, right?
Yep.
Sui, I think, not only gains a lot of momentum because it is performing so well, but also because its ecosystem is performing well. You start to see those meme coins perform well, similarly to Solana, and you can start to see the correlation. And what I would actually go ahead and say, and I've said it a few times before, is I see a younger version of Solana in Sui, but a better version of the younger version. So when Solana was that age, it was not as good as Sui is right now. And so I think that's why Sui at this point in time is performing so well because people are recognizing that. And it's what happens in crypto. These layer ones come out, they develop, they do amazing. People recognize what they've done great. They recognize what they've done wrong. They then take those lessons and make better versions of it. And I think that Sui can be a better version of Solana one day, maybe not quite yet from an ecosystem perspective, but I think it can be one day. And that's why I do think having both of them around, and especially in your portfolio, is a really, really good idea.
That's great. That's great. So I'm team both. I actually, because I already had more Solana, I've only been buying Sui because you got to have a balanced portfolio. And I was overweight Solana. Okay. I kept my ETH. Now, some months back, I sold a little ETH to buy what? Sui. So I sold just a little ETH to buy Sui because I just wanted some dry powder. Now, what I sold all of, and I know people are going to get upset, I don't care. I sold all of my XRP and rolled it over into something that wasn't a stable coin. But anyway, I think it done like 12% in retrospect. But the coins I put it in are doing like 30 to 40%, right? Even more because Doge and Shib are moving. So you want to show anything in the charts on Sui and Solana, and then we're going to go to some meme coins.
Sure. Yeah. So one thing that I really want to point out, just to kind of further show, I guess, what I'm talking about here, is that Sui is, even when you break it down to the technicals, when you break it down to the charts, is showing similarities to Solana. And let me explain what that looks like. So when we go all the way out here on Solana, and we're going to look at this thing from a grand, big, zoomed out perspective. What you can start to notice is Solana did something very simple, and I'm going to try to keep this as simple as possible. What it did was it set in a yearly high, or this all-time high back here. It set in this bear market low. From there, we have something called, sorry, clear that throat there. We have the Fibonacci levels here. Now, without going too crazy into the Fibonacci's, they're simply just key levels of support and resistance that you just need to know are there. And what happened is that Solana's price recovered on top of the most important Fibonacci level, which is the 618 to 786 zone, recovered above it, consolidated above it, and is now using it to push towards the upside. And that's a fantastic move. That's textbook. But what's interesting is that if you look at Sui and you start to zoom out to see what's happening with Sui, you can start to notice that intra-bull market high, intra-market low, recovered on top of that same Fibonacci zone, consolidated above it, and is now using it to continue upwards. And so what's interesting is not only are you seeing from an ecosystemic perspective that Sui and Solana are similar, but even down to the technicals, they are making similar moves, which just goes to show that you can capitalize on several different opportunities by being able to invest in both rather than having to choose one of them. To me, it feels like Sui is going to be a little bit more risky, but gain more. I think it's going to have the better returns, whereas Solana may be a little bit less risky, but probably won't return as much as something like Sui would. And I think seeing things like this just further confirms that personally.
Okay, now Tyler, this is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do because a lot of people will be asking questions, and we're literally giving you the answers right now in the charts. I want you to show them with Sui because he said they're similar. I want you to show them with Sui because I have my own takes, and I'll tell you if I agree with you or not, Tyler, because I'm gonna keep it real, brother. I'm gonna go, no, Tyler's wrong. He stinks. Bye bye, Tyler. Click, and he's gone. All right. I wouldn't do that, but I want you to tell the people this is what we're gonna do. We're not gonna just pump pie in the sky. Okay. Mm-hmm. We're going to give you a least case scenario. I want you guys to stop typing and listen. I want to show you. I want you to give them a least case scenario with Sui. All right. And so just take that with Solana too. And then I want you to give the best case and then a more realistic case of price action of where it could go. Now I need you guys to listen and look at this. I want you to make money, good people. All right. I want you to show us where the charts say, and then I'll tell you if I agree with it or not. I already told them, so we agreed. So here we go.
Okay, so Sui specifically. So one thing that I've done over on my channel a ton is I've done about 3 or 4 years of studying the Fibonacci's, and what I've come to recognize is they are the best from a technical perspective, at least, the best predictive tool that we can use to make a good guess as to where something is going. And that's what I tell people all the time. All these, we can all as influencers say this is going to happen, Sui's going to go this place, Sui's going to hit this number. We're just guessing at the end of the day, and this is something that I help used to help me guess. So least case scenario, where do I think that Sui could possibly go? Okay. I think in the smallest scenario, in an okay scenario here, I think that we see a $5.50 Sui. What this represents is a 1.618 Fibonacci extension, which based off of this tool, that is going to be your next step from where we are. A couple of days ago, I was saying over on my channel that I thought a short-term target would be your 1.272 level, which is $3.27, which is basically where we got up to. And so in my brain, I think with a little bit more juice, I think us seeing, a little bit less than a 2x from here is a least case scenario. I think in the best case scenario, without getting too crazy, right? It's so easy to start thinking crazy, right? $20, $25. But let me just give my bullish scenario where I think it's realistic, but bullish. I think we are going to see a Sui hit $15.19. From here, that's roughly a 5x, maybe a little bit less than a 5x. And I think that's very accomplishable. We have seen cryptos with a market cap of sub 10 billion, within that $5 to $8 billion range, make a move exactly like this, up towards 40 or 50 billion dollars in market cap throughout both cycles. And so because of that, I think this is very possible. From a realistic perspective, if I was just going to go out and say, okay, let's say it's better than the worst case scenario, but a little bit, maybe not 15, let's go ahead and call it what I think is possible is us seeing about a $9.50 Sui. Now, my heart wants to say a $10 Sui, but my gut goes and says, well, if everyone thinks it's going to hit $10, maybe there's a chance that Sui doesn't hit 10. Maybe it gets a little close, but doesn't just hit it and hits something around 950 before pulling back. But that's still a 3.5x from here, which is phenomenal. So my general price targets are, if we're giving it just an okay guess, $5.50, a best scenario, $15. And if we're looking somewhere in the middle, I'd say $9.50 is a dang good area.
And I agree, good people. I agree, because it's never as good as you think it's going to be, right? So we're talking what?
5x.
I say 2.5, exactly what I told you before I even showed the charts, because it's never even though the charts may show you that there's going to be a whale that's going to dump. This happens every year. A whale dumps big, it causes panic, and people start to sell. This is what happened because he got it so low And his bags are so big till he don't have to wait till it gets there. And people have to put that in the scenario. So you just can't look at the charts. You can't listen to these kids that go away and come back when crypto is hot. That's telling you it's going to 20x. Don't fall for the okey doke. You guys saw when I sold last year. All right. All right. So thank you for that, Tyler. Listen, let's go to Bonk versus PEPE. Okay. Now, I want you to be clear and honest of which one you think. Okay. Right now, because of Weeble Pay, good people, I have them both. All right, but I like literally took a penny and put it in Pepe right now. All right, because I'm trying to wait for it to come down a little bit, but I am good with Bonk, but I got Bonk so low. So you can tell us what you think about Bonk versus Pepe. Be brutally honest. Don't roll with me. We here to help the people, and then take us to the charts.
Sure. So my general thought when it comes to Bonk and Pepe, it kind of is rooted in the community to some degree. Is that I would say in general, when people think of Pepe and they think of Bonk, they think about them on the same playing field to some degree. They're both meme coins. They're both big. They both have good communities, and so to some degree, people for the most part do compare the two and think that okay, they're around the same playing field. But what I want to show is what's actually going on the chart, because on the chart itself, it starts to paint a little bit of a different picture that, in my opinion, Pepe has a little bit more of a. There's no guarantees in crypto, and Uncle Larry knows that. But
Right.
it does have a little bit more of some sort of guarantee of growth under the right circumstances. So if you could show them this chart real quick, what I want to do is I want to just kind of explain what I mean. So here's your chart for Pepe. Here's your chart for Bonk. So Bonk has obviously had a fantastic year. Clearly, I mean, it's done phenomenally well, and where it is right now is, it's been a little bit sideways. We had some great movements and some bad movements, etc. But overall, we have had some good moments. But realistically, Bonk is still in a situation where it has to prove itself. Right? Because it is a little bit newer, it will come with more gains, but it does have to prove itself. And that in situations where this market is going to rally and that we go into altcoin seasons, its investors will show up, they will turn out, and they will set in those buy orders to get this thing moving. Whereas when you compare it to something like Pepe, Pepe's already proven itself. What you can see here is Pepe had a similar start. Pepe was going sideways. It had some good movements and some bad movements. But once we did see this market start trending upwards, we saw Pepe actually take that leap. We saw the buyers step in. We saw the community jump back in. And knowing that Pepe is now a bit of a lock, knowing that, okay, in good times, we should see growth from Pepe, I would say that this puts us in one of those common scenarios in which it's like, for Pepe, you're probably going to get less gains. Its market cap is roughly 2.7x larger than Bonk. And so because of that, the gains should likely be somewhere about half the size of Bonk. But the actual growth for Pepe is a little bit more risk free, in my opinion, meaning that right now, I would say in this market, I would probably lean in favor of Pepe a little bit. I think both of them are going to see a lot of growth. I think both of them have the opportunity, but I do like to lean in the favor of credibility. And Pepe just has a little bit more technical credibility in the sense that it's made that move that Bonk just has to make so far. And so obviously, if Bonk does make that move, fantastic. I hold both of them, so I'll be very happy. But if I was forced on the spot to pick one, I think I'd lean in the direction of Pepe just solely off its credibility.
Okay, good people. Now, you heard what Tyler thinks about a Pepe. I think Bonk is the strongest. Bonk, I agree with him. There's certain times where you're supposed to, be in the fastest moving car. Now, he showed you Bonk has already, what he's saying is Bonk has ran most of its race already, right, Tyler? That's what you're
To some
saying?
degree. To some degree.
To some degree, all right?
Right.
And then Pepe will go. I think Bonk, popularity wise, because the truth be told, and he may agree with me, these things are not it's not the use case. It's none of this matters. It's a popularity contest with memes. It's community driven. I want you guys to hear this. It has nothing to do with the burn and it's this and this, but this does that and this is part of this ecosystem. None of that matters. It really is, when it comes to these meme coins, it's a popularity contest and it's community. Which ones have the strongest community behind them? And that's how I won with Shib last year. Okay. Last cycle, not last year, last cycle, Shib absolutely murdered Doge. But this cycle, as you know, absolutely murdered Doge. But now things are different. So I I told the people, for those of you that's asking, that when Bitcoin gets to 80K, that I was going to sell some of my bunk. Now, me selling my bunk is different from you selling your bunk because I was in much early and I went in with big bags early. My first bunk purchase was 30K. Okay. Just boom, here it is. Because I knew I was early. So I'm up a lot. That's how I'm up, 94K in actually just a few days, right? So don't make your decisions based on what I do. Now, the answer is yeah, I told you guys that Bunk was going last night. Leave me a coffee cup and a fire emoji. Yesterday, I said Bunk is due to move now because these others moved. And look at Bunk today. Look at what Bunk did earlier today. It absolutely moved. Bunk is a slow mover behind Bitcoin, which is what we like because it gives us time to ride the wave. Okay. And so now I am going to honor my word and protect my money from myself. But guess what I'm going to do with the bunk that I sell? And me personally, I'm going to start with 25%. I'm going to roll it over into PEPE and I am going to ride them both. That's what I'm doing. Let me know what you're doing. Okay. This is not Get Like Me. Anything that Tyler and myself say is not a suggestion for you to buy, hold, or sell. Make sure you don't fall for any spam in the comment section. Never send money or crypto to anyone, even if they say they are us. All right. All right. So now let's go to Shib versus Doge. Give a commentary first.
Okay, so this is when, one thing that you say consistently on your channel that I've always valued has been you can't, there are many different ways that you can invest, and there's many different ways you can win. And although I do heavily lean into the technical side, I'm super aware of the fact that if you ignore certain things outside of the technicals, you're going to get wrecked or you're going to miss extremely big gains. Now,
Yes.
from a technical perspective, right? A technical perspective, Doge and Shiba-inu, they look somewhat similar. They're both having similar setups. They're both moving somewhat well. Their ROIs have been rather similar throughout the course of the year. And that's all fantastic. But that's kind of removing something that's extremely important that a lot of people haven't, for some reason, been talking about much recently that you're going to remember from 2021. And that's the Elon effect.
Yep.
It would be hard to ignore the influence that Elon is going to have over Doge that
Yep.
Shiba Inu just does not have. There's not that person out there that's as big as Elon that can do what Elon's going to do. And throughout the next 4 years, there will be moments where Elon does either mention Doge, say something about Doge, talk about Doge, and that's going to give Doge an advantage over Shiba Inu without anything else happening. And so because of that, I would have to lean in the direction of Doge no matter what, basically.
Yes. So now, you bought the class. Listen, for you that bought the class, I'm telling you guys, the coupon code, use it because I got a lot of help coming with the class by Black Friday. Okay. I'm going to have a chapter on swinging. And for those of you that actually like options, because you guys have been asking me for it, I'm going to teach you. We have someone else, not me, that's going to teach you how to swing and how to do options, aka leverage. But we want you guys to be prepared. That's why we haven't done anything on the page because we want people to be prepared and make money the right way. Don't skip steps. All right. Everybody wants to take the elevator. Nobody wants to take the stairs. Okay. So now to your comment, I will tell you that you forgot one thing, Tyler, and this is how I make so much money with psychological trading. So always put your psychological trading in with the charts. And that is, he also says something negative and caused it to fall like one of his rockets from the sky. Saturday Night Live. Okay.
Yeah,
and so that's what you guys got to look at both sides of the coin. So I'm riding this wave now on Shib. Okay. I got a ton of Shib. And my when I see why my portfolios keep going up, I'm looking at Shib, Doge killing it, right? But I'm not gonna have all of my money in something that one man could say one thing, right? So that's what I agree with you on, Tyler. With you, Tyler. So every time you see Elon on the stage, Doge, good. Tesla, good, right? Every time you see that type of deal, good, good, right? Every time if he mentions it, good, good. But if he, and I think he has some sort of disease, and I don't want to call it. The code is learn, LEARN. That's the promo code for Black Friday. It will never be this cheap again. Invest in yourself. But listen, he'll say one thing and he'll just be joking because that was just a bad, all it was on Saturday Night Live was a bad joke, right? And it tanked. And those of us that had Shib, we rode that rocket to the moon. All right. So, hey, that's good. That's good. I wanted to have you on because I saw one of your videos and I know I heard you say something similar, and I wanted people to have options. Okay, options. All right, now you don't have to show in the charts. I want you to talk about XRP and ADA because we have a lot of ADA. I don't have any of the two right now. Okay, and if I had anything, I would have ADA over XRP. As XRP for the year has just been a stable coin. It just hasn't. It's just underperformed, right? Mm-hmm. What do you think? And if you need to go to the charts, let me know. But what do you think, just briefly, about those two?
So I'll start with XRP because I have the least to say about it. I don't particularly see a super big bullish case for XRP in comparison to other ones out there, right? Mm-hmm. Whenever we're looking at the grand scheme of things, sure, XRP can be a fantastic tool, right? It can be something that these different governmental bodies, corporations, institutions, whoever can use, but I don't see much of a bullish case for why its actual price should increase if these people are just using it as a tool, right? So because of that, I don't really focus much on XRP at all. I love the XRP community because they've been super welcoming and inviting. I have done some technical analysis on it, but quite frankly, it just doesn't really move. And so it gets very boring and I don't really look at it ever. Now, Ader Cardano, I would actually like to show the chart real quick if that's okay.
Oh, absolutely. Take your time. Let's help the people.
Yeah, something's happening here and something's brewing. And this is from a news perspective and a technical perspective. So what I'm noticing from Ader Cardano is that as its price is now starting to build its way back towards the top side, right? Coming off of this move towards around 25 cents, 23 cents or so, we're actually starting to notice more of a macro structure. So a macro structure typically just means a structure or a formation on your chart that's been building over the course of months, if not years. And interestingly enough, from Ader Cardano's perspective, we're seeing one of the most bullish structures forming, which is a cup and handle pattern. Now, there is quite a ways to go. There are no guarantees that this will form. It's not even fully formed yet, but it is in a situation in which it very well might. And when you start getting these early signs, you can't ignore it. And the question is, well, why in the world did this happen? Why did we see, ADA's price just absolutely go up? And you can take it off the chart there if you'd like. The primary reason as to why that is the case is because we are seeing that Charles Hoskinson, who is the person behind Ader Cardano, the CEO, the one who is in charge, has been working hand in hand now with the new presidential-elect Donald Trump and Elon Musk to start bringing some crypto regulation to the market. And so clearly, knowing that, he's going to have some sort of influence, there is no true way of knowing to what degree this will impact ADA, but it would be somewhat naive to imagine that there aren't any personal interests involved there as well. And who knows what that transpires into, and seeing maybe ADA start to become more of a common theme within the general marketplace here. And so Ader Cardano, I think it's in a great spot. I think it's still rather early from the grand scheme of things. It looks good to me. I like it. I did buy a little bit of it a few weeks ago, so I'm happy where we are.
Good people. He mentioned, listen, we have 280 lawmakers that are in the government that are crypto people, and some of them came and spoke at the Bitcoin conference. Were you at the Bitcoin conference?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, I was there. All right. And first thing Donald Trump said is, day one, I will fire Gary Gensler. He said that, you remember, the crowd went absolutely berserk. And it was this building was huge. They went absolutely. And then he was like, oh, you like that? Let me say it again. Then he said it again. Remember that? And the people went crazy, like the Bears actually won. It was something crazy. If that happens, even if we have a pullback, this I'm just telling you guys, it is about to get crazy. And so does that mean dive all in any of these cryptos we were talking about? No, it's with this kind of run up, there is a pullback or a cool off just looming. Just be aware. And I would literally not chase right now after this huge run and dump all your money in. Save some dry powder for a pullback. If there was ever a good time to DCA, it's now. It's just now, right? And I expect, Christmas area, we may have a cool off because trading goes kind of cools off a little bit around Christmas. And then we may leg back up, especially when he actually takes office. I'm telling you guys, I showed you the chart that next time you and I will get on. I showed after the halving and after every election what crypto did or what Bitcoin did. Okay. Tyler, tell them what your page is, please.
Yeah, so my page is Tyler Hill Investing. You can check that out. I do a ton of technical analysis every day on Sui, Solana, Caspa, Render, Jasmine, and a bunch more. So feel free to check that out if you guys would like. Again, it's Tyler Hill Investing, and I'll look forward to talking to you guys from Uncle Larry's crew.
Hey man, I appreciate it. I appreciate it, man. I'm gonna have to. Man, I'm gonna have to pull you in. You know what I like about Tyler, good people. See, he's not pie in the sky. You didn't hear him saying Doge is going, I'm sorry, Shiba-inu is going to $1. You didn't hear him talking that foolishness. I like him because he has realistic price predictions and they were actually aligned with what I see. Okay. And not just because of that, because he shows you why. People say, Larry, just give it to us and don't show us the why. No, I'm always going to show you the why, right? Because the people that have taken stock up they're sharing stuff with me. Not only are they eating the fish that I give them, they learn how to fish for themselves. All right, let's talk about a little stock. Tyler, I'm going to talk about a little stock if you don't mind. All right,
Oh yeah,
so I'm going to
absolutely.
go, just hang tight. Listen, good people. I'm going to timestamp this video. Look, stock. Tomorrow, with the exception of any kind of sell-off, massive sell-off, these will probably go berserk tomorrow. Some of these. Look at for the month. We got Mara, Riot, CleanSpark, and MicroStrategy. The only one that I have is MicroStrategy. I have none of these, but I want you guys to stay fed. And because I just have all my money in, nothing wrong with them. I just have all my money and focus in crypto because the underlying assets that these mine are actually moving a little faster. But you can't take away these type of numbers. Now, if you're doing options, you are absolutely smashing it. So we have Mara up for the week, and Monday morning, these are going to jump up even more. Look at that, 20%. Let's call that 21%. Riot, let's call that 40%. CleanSpark, 35. MicroStrategy, 19. But don't sleep on MicroStrategy. And then for the month, look at that, good people. Riot is up 65%. Remember, CleanSpark was the big dog? Like, this is like a dog race, and they keep one after another. They keep passing each other up, right? But the 6 months has not been that good, with the exception of MicroStrategy. Okay, so this is the stock portion of this because this is a stock channel, and we also cover crypto. We make money in them both. Now, tomorrow is an Independence Day, but I believe that the markets are open. Could somebody check that really quick? I believe the stock market is open tomorrow. So one of you guys check that out, please. All right. Hey, let's hit that like button and let's get that up. Tyler, I want you to prepare your closing statement. We will have Tyler back. I didn't want this one to be long, but listen, for anybody that wants to get the best price from Stock Up You that you're ever going to get, because the price is going up. It is going up January. Okay. It's Stock Up You. I have the biggest discount ever. I want you guys to check out this charting with Josh, and you know what? I'm gonna talk with Tyler because I like the way Tyler moves. And then I want you to take the crypto chapter, okay? And then tonight there's been an upgrade with Coinbase in the apps, and I want to show you guys how to set stop orders and stop limits and how to protect your money. Okay, so if you are the type that's greedy and the market keeps going up, 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 and you don't know when to sell, all you really need to do is start setting stop losses. Now, I'm going to tell you guys right now, I know the question is going to be, where should I set my stop loss? It's a different answer for everybody out here. It depends on where you bought it. Now, if you're just 2% up, then you need to set a tight stop loss. But if you're 100% up, 200% up on some of them, 300, am I 300% up on some of mine? But for you, let's say you're 200%. I can afford for a 10% drawdown. You see what I'm saying? And I don't have to even, I can set my stop loss down to 20%, right? Because we know crypto have these flash crashes, but sometimes that's just to trigger your stop loss, take your money, and it goes back up. All right, good people? Tyler, what you got to say about that?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I think it sometimes can be a bit of a slippery slope, right? Because you need stop losses these days, in my opinion. I think it's almost mandatory. But if you don't know how to properly use them, you can get liquidated very fast. Over on my channel, I make a joke that the lizard people are coming to take your crypto. And and so yeah, absolutely, you need to know how to do it. You need to have a strategy that you stick to. I know that's one of your core values, is to have a
Yes.
strategy and stick to it no matter what. And so I completely agree. And I think, the fact that Coinbase is starting to implement these features is amazing for retail investors to try to make money and keep the money, which is always the goal.
That's it. That's it. So people, for those of you that have the class, remember this month, I'm going to make a stop loss video tonight. I got some travel, but in about a week's time, about 8 days, we're going to have an entire chapter on how to swing trade. Now, how to swing trade crypto is already in there, but I'm bringing another person in for their perspective, and they do leverage. It's like options, and I only want professional options traders or people that know leverage to do it, because you guys, somebody came and said something to me that made sense, but I don't want you guys using any margins. See, I'm against margins. That's why I didn't want people to do anything. I'm not against margins, but anybody that is new should not be using margins. But somebody said, "Hey, you in MSTX? That's leverage." You know what? They were actually right. And we've only made money with MicroStrategy leverage 1.75. We've only made money. So they had a point. So, but it's only going to be in the class, because I don't want everybody out there gambling. I want you to get the entire lesson and learn the right way, okay? And then maybe later, all right? Maybe later we'll bring it here. I want you guys to make money and not lose it, all right? And when I think it's time to sell, I'm gonna tell you guys I'm gonna sell, and I guarantee you the army's gonna come after me. You a fool, you crazy, blah, blah, blah. Well, tell that to the amount of Shib that I walked away with enough to buy my house and cars and pay off all my debt with just one crap coin. That's not my Bitcoin. That wasn't my Ethereum. That wasn't any of that. Okay? I know how to get out. Listen, good people, you got to have an exit plan. That's the one thing I'm going to beg you guys. In closing, you got to have an exit plan. You got to have an exit plan. Mine is like, I'm finna sell some of my Doge, but I was waiting for it to run, because last night I said it had a run, and it still got a little more running to do because it's behind. So now what I do is I take 25%. That's Larry. You could take 20%, you could take a third, you could take a half, and then I move it over into stablecoin where it's not going anywhere, and I'm making 5.1% on my money. I move it over to USDC, and then I wait a little bit, and now that I am going to get some PEPE, and I know I'm late to the PEPE game, I just didn't need it because Doge did it for me. He showed you Doge moved more than PEPE did, in this time, in a time frame, in a short time frame. So I made my big bags, right? But I'm only selling 25%. And then when it gets up to the next level, then I take another 25%. And then at some point, I'm playing with the house's money. Good people, I'm up $94,000 this week with one of my crypto portfolios, and about 80, probably 78% of that is pure profit. Think about that. I made $52,000 just swing trading Bonk. Just think about that. There is a proper way to do this and to make money and to take profits. What do you got to say to that? And then you could have closing words.
Totally, yeah. And I mean, I agree. It's one of those situations to where a strategy right now is going to be more important than ever, realistically. The moment that, when you get fearful, that's an emotion that people are somewhat used to some degree, right?
Mm-hmm.
We kind of get scared of just about anything to some degree, and you can still somewhat operate. But when you get greedy and when you start to see those gains coming in and you get extra greedy, greed is a really bad emotion. And
Yep.
so the only way to properly avoid it simply is by having a strategy and sticking to it. And the amazing thing about it, something that you pointed out, is that everyone's strategy can be different. Everyone's situation is different. Everyone trades different, buys different, sell different, but you need to have something that you can fall back on the moment you get scared, the moment you get greedy, or the moment you don't know what's going on because the lizard people don't try to take some of your crypto. And so
Yep.
because of that, again, completely agree.
Listen, Monday morning, if it's all over the news that Bitcoin hit, and I'm not talking about CNBC. If it's on your local 5, 7, and 9, ABC, CBS, NBC, and it's all over the place, probably need to be taking a little profit. Do you agree with that, Tyler?
100%. The moment people in real life start talking to me about it is when I'm going to start selling.
Exactly. When your dumb neighbor, I always say that, your dumb neighbor, when your neighbor is talking about it and it's all over the news and everyone's talking about it, and we're in greed mode. Remember, we buy fear, we sell greed. You don't have to dump all your bags. Just take a little profit off. It could be 10%. But here's what everyone can do. When you hear them talking, like I'm finna go show you in about 2 hours, that will be up in the class. Set your stop losses. The beautiful thing about crypto is it trades 24/7. So when you start hearing everyone talking about it, you can move those stop losses up. All right. And if it triggers, just keep your money in your portfolio. All right. And if it comes back down, you can get back in. Okay. Tyler, what do you think Bitcoin is going next year? And if I need to go to the charts, go ahead. I know we keep saying goodbye, but I want to feed the
Yeah, that's
people
okay.
so much because I'm gonna be on a
Yeah,
plane tomorrow. What do you think
totally.
Bitcoin is going?
So I have two different scenarios. Okay. And that's the thing about technical analysis is it's kind of adaptive. But scenario number one is that Bitcoin stays in a similar situation in which we're in right now. Right. Obviously it's bullish, everyone's excited, people are getting in, but there's not a super huge inflow outside of just our ETFs. So that's kind of the base premise. We have ETFs coming in, people are excited, Trump's in office, everything's good. I think if we stay in a similar situation, I think we're going to see a Bitcoin around 120 to $130,000. That's my guess. And so
Yeah.
that usually just comes off the back of Fibonacci's, off your
Yeah.
Fibonacci extensions. And from a macro perspective, $120,000 is where Bitcoin is supposed to go through from a technical perspective. But again, it can't all be about technical analysis. We have to consider other things. One thing we've seen from Bernstein recently has been them coming out saying that major companies, organizations, and countries are going to start adding Bitcoin to their strategic reserves.
Yeah.
If that does happen, it's going to shock the supply. There's not going to be enough. Exchanges are going to start to run out, and Bitcoin is going to become so valuable that a 200,000 plus Bitcoin is possible. And
That's
so
true.
it really just depends on just how bullish the developments get. But I know the intrinsic value is growing right now. And from that, extrinsically, it's clearly showing. So 120 all the way up to 200 plus is somewhere around my guess. And I guess we'll just have to sit back and watch.
Well, mine has been consistently 120 next year, right? I said 80K by the end of this month. I said by the end of this year, and then I moved it up to the end of this month after he won. I said 80K. We're there. We're there. And I said 120K. People don't get greedy and chase 250,000 Bitcoin by next year. Don't get greedy. All right. So I appreciate you saying that, Tyler. I want to show the people this too, because look at it. Look at it. He trying to be sexy, y'all. Look at that picture with his. You see him got his hand in his hair. He just like good people. This is Tyler's page. Tyler Hill Investing. Man, you make me sick with all that hair. He's
Don't get
sitting
mad
there.
at me.
He
It ain't
there.
my fault, Uncle Larry.
Look at him. Ladies. Hey, man, it's been a blast having you on. We got to do this more often. When I come
Absolutely.
back, we need to, while we're in this cycle, man, we might have to do this once a week because
Do
this
it.
is informative and it's based, you getting both sides. And just when you have two people that trade differently and they both start agreeing, probably need to listen. Okay, you probably need to listen. Okay, all right. How do I get in the Patreon? It's not a Patreon. It's a class. Stock Up You. There's a link. It's going to be the only link in this bio. Right. Let me go back to it. It's going to be the only link in the description. Stock Up You. I want you guys to literally get in here, take this class, and you know what? You can gift it to someone. And you can buy now and pay later with Affirm, Afterpay, and or Klarma or PayPal. All right, so you can do PayPal, Klarma, Afterpay, or Affirm. You'll see it at checkout. So you can buy now and pay later. And we have a ton of stuff coming to the crypto chapter. All right, and you're gonna learn how to make money in the stock market. This class is loaded with information. Okay. Now, if you're an absolute pro trader, this ain't for you. I reach people that's been brand new. This is for you. Been investing for about 5 years. This is for you. This is about 99.9% of the people that's watching me. But if you are a pro trader, it ain't for you. My theory is talk to me like I'm 3. We break it down really plain. All right. Tyler Hill. I showed his page. Good people, go over there and show him some love. If you leave him a comment, say Uncle Larry sent me. I like this brother. He's a straight shooter like me. I like that. And we, like I said, when I first got on, I was emotional because, man, I saw somebody again at lunch today. And he was like, do you know how many lives you changing? And I got emotional, not because of my portfolio, but because you guys are making money. And man, that's what I love. I love you guys. All right. Appreciate you guys. What does this say? Larry, appreciate you being straightforward and honest. Yep. That's it. That's it. Because we can make a ton of money with realistic prices. All right. All right, good people. I'm going to leave it right there because I'm going to keep going. All right. Live, love, laugh, and learn. Make sure you use the promo code LEARN, LEARN. Invest in yourself, right? All right. Peace.